France has been instrumental in the fashion industry for over hundreds of years, and over the years they have given us an array of world-renowned designers like Christian Dior, Coco Chanel and Hubert de Givenchy, and very few countries have a comparable legacy. Now, speaking of French car makers, yes, we do have Renault, right? But we never actually got something that showcased the fine taste and creativity of the French designers. And well, here it is, as round as a macaron, the 2021 Citroen C5 Aircross. Other cool design elements at the front is the unique split headlamp cluster, which has LED DRLs on the top and standard headlights below. And down below we have these fog lights, which do have a cornering function. Another unique feature is that the Chevron logo, which is there on the hood, it actually expands along to the DRL. So this is all like one single chrome strip, and you have these DRLs on the edges. On the side we get the same trapezoidal design elements on the lower section. You do have 18-inch dual tone diamond cut alloy wheels on this field variant. What adds to this funky design is the blacked out pillars and roof rails, which adds to the dual tone theme. At the rear we get these distinctive full LED taillight clusters with these 4 rectangles. Apart from that, you have a black Citroen badge over here, and you do have the C5 Aircross badge over here. Now, another cool feature is the hands-free tailgate. So you can just open the tailgate by waving your foot beneath the rear bumper. You just wave your foot like this, and there you go, the tailgate opens for you. I love this trick actually. Now, in the boot you do get 580 liters of boot space, which is quite good. And if you fold down the second row seats, you get a massive 1630 liters of boot space. A 12-volt charging socket on this side. You do have lights to light up the boot. You do have this small lid which reveals you the spare tire. So yes, you do have space savers over here as well. You can close the tailgate by clicking this button right here. There's actually 2 different buttons here. So this one actually locks the boot after pressing it, but this one you can just close the boot directly, which is what we're going to do right now. Now, the interiors is where Citroen has really played the game. In the interior, the first thing that you would notice is of course the dashboard, and the dashboard has a dual tone finish with this beige and this black part at the top. And another thing which they've done, which I quite liked it, is that every point which you touch first, for example this part of the central console box or be the dashboard, all of them have soft touch materials. Now, however, when you come to the upper section over here, you do have hard plastics. Down here you do have hard plastics, but you would actually not notice that because the first place that you would actually touch is in this area. So that's quite a good way of implementing the materials. Citroen really cares about attention to detail. So they have included this leather strap over here, which runs on the beige part of the dashboard. Well, that's if you thought it's leather. Well, it's actually not leather, it's just a plastic piece that's on this dashboard. But when you look at it at the first time, you'd never identify that it's even plastic, because that's really how good that they've done this bit. Now, the seats is what really is the USP of this car. The seats, they do have this kind of memory foam treatment on them. So you have a lot of these cubicles on the seat, and so the seats are actually quite comfortable. And they've used a mixture of different materials on the seat. For example, you have a fabric on the upper part. You do have this different finishing which goes over here. You have a leather which goes on this side. You again have a fabric, black fabric that runs on this part, and again some leather, and again some fabric. So the seats actually have a tri-tone finish, if you ask me, so they do look pretty nice. Another thing which I have to talk about is practicality, which is actually almost inevitable with the Citroen C5. For example, you have this place over here, and it's not just a small tray, it's actually quite deep. As you can see, my entire hand goes in there, so it is pretty deep. You can store your mobile phone and coins. You do have separate cup holders over here, so you don't have to keep your phone in the cup holders, you can keep it over here. So you do have lots of storage spaces, right? And here we have our Qi wireless charger along with a 12-volt charging socket and a USB port. Now, in the center we do have the central console box, which also has a mini refrigerator. So you click this button here, it opens in this split like fashion, And once I put my hand in here, you can see how deep it is. So it's actually quite huge and very practical. You can actually keep realistic things in here and not just, you know, keep small items. You can actually keep almost anything actually in there. So you do have a place here to store your things, or if you had the top of the notch shine variant, you would have your grip control, which is actually a system which increases traction on this part. And here you have the jet-like gear lever for the 6-speed transmission, and this one is actually quite done well. You do have an M button here to engage manual. You have a park button on the top, and just like a BMW or mini gear, you do, you know, pull it back and forward to engage gears. And here we do have a button for the push button start, and down here we again have more storage space. And then comes the panoramic sunroof, which is actually quite huge. So you do have this button with which you can auto fold the flap first, so the flap completely opens at the rear, and then you can just click this button once. So you click this once and it will open the sunroof for you. Well, it's quite a sunny day, so I don't prefer opening the sunroof, but still. Then you can close this sunroof like this, and then close the flap. Let it take its time. Now, coming to the door cards, we do have piano black finish with this premium touch of materials with the leather and, you know, the rectangular elements on the door. And if you notice carefully, the rectangular elements are there almost on every part. For example, you have that same trapezoidal air intake design which goes for those door handles. If you notice on the door cards, you can see the rectangular elements, and if you come below, you can see an extension of the Citroen 6-speaker system, and it also has some space to store bottles. Now, coming to the steering wheel, we do have a flat bottom steering wheel, but it does have the flat nature both on the bottom and on the top, so it's, you know, quite a different styling. You have paddle shifters at the rear for both upshifts and downshifts. You have your volume controls placed over here, your voice assistant or Siri. Then you can adjust between the different available views by moving this. So right now we are in minimum, so it just shows the speed alone. You shift that, it goes into personal, and it shows your regular gauges and your tachometer on top. Dials, when you click dials, it shows a different information with the parking gear and your distance to empty on this side. You do have electrically foldable mirrors, so you can just click this button like this and folds both the mirrors. Then you can click this again to open it. So I just click this button over here. You can see that they are one touch power windows. On the side of the steering wheel, we do have your headlamp levelers and your button to open the boot. So you click this button 2 times, it opens the boot electronically. And another unique feature is that you can also close the tailgate electrically by pressing the same button, which I haven't seen on other cars before. And now let's see what the wipers look like. So as you can see, they do have a good amount of spray on offer. And now we also do have our headlamp controls on this left spoke. You do have your wiper controls on the right spoke, so it does have rear wipers as well. And down here we do have a small spoke for the cruise control. And then in the center, what draws your attention is this 8-inch color touchscreen display with phone mirroring connectivity. It also does have a USB aux and Bluetooth connectivity along with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It does have 6 speakers which are placed strategically in the vehicle, and you also do have a navigation system on the top of the range Shine variant. So on this one, however, if you do have Apple CarPlay connected, you still have the navigation button. So if you click this, it takes you to your Google Maps. So right now I'm on the climate page, in which you have a dual zone climate control system, in which you can adjust the temperatures individually for the drivers and the passengers. You can increase your fan speed by clicking this button, and the graphics are pretty good and the screen does respond pretty well. And you can adjust your different airflow modes over here. You have your auto AC, which, you know, blows AC in full blast. And then when you click the AC button, you can see how the buttons are activated. So right now it just has this regular thin line along with the infotainment, and when you click it, it activates this thick line. So, you know, the graphics used in this is pretty good. On the top, it displays your outside temperature, the time on this side, and also your settings. Now when you click the music icon, you do have your FM and your different sources of audio. So you can adjust so you can choose the different sources of audio by clicking this button. And right now we are going to see how the audio system sounds like. So as you can see, the audio system sounds pretty cool from the 6 speakers. Then we do have our list of radios over here and all the buttons for your audio. Then click here, it takes us to the vehicle settings by clicking on that vehicle icon. So you can adjust your different CT settings and also the vehicle settings, such as for parking, headlights, comfort and safety features. As you come below, we do have our physical buttons. So you do have your volume knob over here, you do have your front and rear defoggers, then you have a switch to activate the air quality system, which basically purifies the air coming from outside, which is a good thing. Then we do have your central locking system, which if you click, it activates the central locking. And then here we do have our sport mode, which makes everything a little bit more aggressive.